I want to welcome Agile XRM to the podcast. I've known the people at Agile XRM for the past 12 years. I've seen how their business process management tool can add massive value to complex organizational processes in sectors such as finance and government. If you have complex processes or a need for dialogues on the Power Platform or Dynamics 365, take a look at how this BPM tool can add value. You can find them at agilexrm.com or check out the show notes for more details. Welcome to the Power 365 show, where I interview staff at Microsoft across the Power Platform and Dynamics 365 technology stack. I hope you'll find this podcast educational and inspire you to do more with this great technology. Now, let's get on with the show. Today's guests are both from Israel. They both work for Microsoft. Olga Goldenberg is the Senior Product Manager and Abed Asi is the Senior Data Scientist. Welcome to the show, Olga and Abed.
Hi, Mark. Great to be here.
Great to have you on the show, and it's an exciting topic. I'm finding a lot of interest in the market, particularly across Australia and New Zealand, where I'm having these conversations around conversational intelligence, voice as a channel, call reporting, and I'm looking forward to jumping into that. But before we go there, I always love to understand the background of my guests. So I ask kind of the 3 F's: food, family, and fun. What do they mean to you? Olga, do you want to go first?
Sure. Okay, well, where should I start?
Food. Always start with
family.
Food.
Always start with food. Well, we are all around food here. Abed will tell you shortly that it's Ramadan here, and for the Jewish population, we are a couple of days before Passover, which is all about food. Like all the Jewish holidays are 100% around food. But other than that, I think that Israelis, I mean, most of the people that I know, when we leave Israel, the thing that we miss most is food. The food here is amazing. The variety is just huge. And I think food and fun, they go together for me. Fun is just to sit in a great restaurant, in a great company. So yeah, it absolutely comes together. For family, I'm the proud mom of 3 boys and a cat, male cat, of course.
Nice.
Yeah, and I think fun used to be hobbies, but now it's all around spending time with my family.
So what did your hobbies used to be?
I don't remember.
So long ago.
Yeah, I mean, with kids, it completely changes your life and gives you purpose. It gives you new hobbies, I guess.
Yeah, so true, true. Abed?
Yeah, it's easy because now I don't need to explain why I don't have fun time. I mean, for myself. So I'm also married to Ines, and we have 2 lovely kids, 7 and 4 years old. I think as for food, I like to try food from different places across the world. But if I must confess that my maybe Achilles heel is everything bakery, including the smell, taste, and I mean everything.
Yeah, you would love France then, eh? I love the bakery in France, all the baked goods. Yeah.
And Italy.
And Italy, yeah. Yeah, when this world opens up again more, I'm hoping that next year I get up to Italy again. I love that country. It's so amazing. Tell me, Olga, about your journey into Microsoft. How did you end up working for Microsoft?
So I joined Microsoft 2 years ago. I studied biomedical engineering, spent many years in the healthcare information system industry. And then a couple of years ago, I got a phone call from a friend of mine with whom I worked in Dell EMC a few years ago. And he said, we have an opportunity. Would you mind coming for an interview today? And I said, yeah, Microsoft, I'm coming. I'll be there. So I came at 3:00, spent until 7 p.m. on interviews with various people. And then 2 days later, they said that I got the job.
Wow.
And I joined Azure Data Explorer, an amazing product. And I think that's the future of data. 100%. And then switched a couple of roles within Microsoft, and now I'm here part of Dynamics for Sales.
Nice. So that Azure product, why do you think it's the future?
Well, I think the Data Explorer it's magic. I mean, I came to this, I remember myself at the first interview, and for the first interview, they wanted to test my technical skills. And I have like tons of years using SQL, and they said, okay, we need you to write these 5 queries. And I said, no problem. Wrote them in SQL, and then they said, okay, now write them in KQL, our language. And I said, what? What are you talking about? And then they said, always start with the table name. And I did. And I was able to write all 5 queries without any background, knowing nothing about KQL. It's the true democratization of data.
I like it.
It is. It makes it available for everyone. You don't have to know SQL. You don't have to know code. It's just so intuitive. You just look for what you need. And that's amazing. I fell in love with the product right there.
Does it sit inside Azure Synapse as well? Is that part of it, or does it connect to it? Yeah, it does.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Actually, the integration into Synapse was one of the projects I worked on.
Wow. Because that's an exciting product, particularly around Dynamics 365 customer insights or customer data platforms, and how that story comes together with Synapse is very exciting. Abed, tell me about your journey into Microsoft.
Yeah, sure. So I joined Microsoft right after completing my PhD in computer science about 6 years ago. And it has been an exciting ride since then. So for almost 2 years, I was with the Office 365 compliance team, where we developed an AI-based solution for document analytics to streamline litigation processes. And after that, I joined the Azure Media Services team, where I was involved in developing Azure Video Analyzer. Maybe in a few words about Azure Video Analyzer, which actually changed names. It was Video Indexer, and today it's Azure Video Analyzer for Media. This is a service, a cognitive service that provides video analytics solutions for customers in the media and entertainment domain, so that they can manage their assets, their media assets.
Wow.
Very easily. Like, this is a platform that you can build on top of it, like search engine within videos. Like, what are the topics that were discussed by the specific persona in a specific sentiment. So that's really interesting one. And today, for the last 3 years, actually, I am with Dynamics Sales Group. As a member of the data science team. And my work is focused on infusing Dynamics Sales app with advanced AI capabilities that empowers salespeople throughout the sales process. And one of these exciting and very helpful capabilities is conversation intelligence, which I assume we will be discussing in this episode.
This is good. Some years ago, I wrote a blog post very scathingly of Dynamics 365 sales, and that I have worked with it for 18 years. So I started on Dynamics, I started on MS CRM 1.2. And my scathing write on it was that in that time, in 20 years, really, because it was built on IP that had been developed before that point, is that sales, as well as CRM, hadn't really evolved. It was sold as, to a degree, a cash cow and never evolved. And then in the last 3 years, I've seen Microsoft do these massive investments, and really, AI is one of those ones where you can make salespeople's job so much better, and by providing that level of insights into into the opportunities they're working on, things like call reports, etc. And I feel like now the investments is going in, and we're really starting to get CRMs of the future where, you can understand, the propensity even to buy, and who should you be talking to now, and why is it important now, and what's your relationship like at any particular point, which excites me. So tell me about Dynamics 365 conversational intelligence. What is it, and where does it kind of light up in the software?
Sure. So what is conversation intelligence? Conversation intelligence is basically a tool that allows you to record calls, transcribe them, get real-time insights as you are on the call, as the sellers are on their calls. And then it takes all this beautiful data, all this beautiful information, aggregates it, and provides you insights into your market, into your customers, into your sellers, if you are a sales manager, to see how they perform, to see how the calls are going, what trends are there in your market, what your customers are talking about, how their sentiment looks over time. And it really helps the managers, it helps the sellers, and it eventually helps the customer to have a better experience in your business.
At a high level, kind of what's happening under the covers? What's happening from, that voice, Tell us a bit about the AI that's running, what patterns and behaviors you're looking for, and what is that producing then for the seller?
Sure. So you said it before. CRM and sales has evolved. So it started as a management system, right? Customer relationship management system. And what we've introduced in the last, I think, 3 years is transforming it from a management system to an engagement platform. Okay. So we've introduced the dialer, the Teams dialer into Dynamics. We record the calls in real time. We provide the insights in real time. So as a seller, we'll start with the seller. As the seller, you can engage with your customers directly from the CRM records. So you don't need to keep those phone numbers somewhere and then go back to your CRM to update it. It's all there. You can engage from the record. You can engage from the sales accelerator, from a prioritized work list, and then call your customers directly from there. When you're on the call, we will record the call. We will look for keywords, competitor mentions, all sorts of things that you should be paying attention to during the call. And we will highlight them so you can react in real time and don't miss a thing. We will also allow you to take notes during the call, and we'll suggest items to be added to your notes, such as action items. And going forward, we will have some more capabilities around this experience. And when the call is over, you have in seconds a full summary of the call, including suggestions for your call notes. So we're actually summarizing the call for you, and Abed will talk a little bit more about it. We also have all the action items that we were able to collect during the call, but now you can actually go and convert them into tasks, into emails, into meetings right away, so you won't forget anything. And then, of course, you have the full transcript and the playback for a reference. So basically, that gives you a much more efficient way of working. It enables sellers to focus on the call, to really listen to their customers, not to be all around taking notes and writing everything and updating and so on. Everything is synced back to the CRM, so you don't need to go back and update it later, right? And then you are also more prepared for the next call.
I like it.
Because you have all your action items, all your tasks already there. Okay, you don't miss things. And then for the next call, the customer feels that you really listened because you come prepared with all their requests or all their questions, all their needs, and so on. And also, because we record all the calls, you have those call summaries. When you prepare for the next call, you can really go over all the engagement history, quickly go over these calls with the call summary feature. You can just open the calls, read a short summary, a machine-generated summary, look at the transcript, look at any comments that were left by your manager, by your coworkers, and so on, and really come to the next call more prepared, therefore creating a better experience for your customer.
So let me, my understanding of what you've just said. So when you talk about the dialer being embedded, are we talking about, I have a phone number field in Dynamics 365 Sales. I can click on the icon next to that and it automatically will dial a customer, correct? And so in the past, I would have to have copied that number into my soft phone system or whatever and dialed out that number or put it into my mobile, etc. Now, just let me ask a few questions just around this little feature here. So it's using Teams behind the scenes, right? So you'd have to have audio channel connected in Teams. Could that call, do you get the choice between it being an audio only call or an audio and video call? Or is it just an audio only at this point?
Okay, so we have a couple of engagement channels available for you. So we have the Teams dialer for audio calls, for one-on-one audio calls, telephony, basically, embedded within Dynamics. And then for those more long calls, for demos, for multi-participant meetings with the C-level and the decision makers and so on, we also have same capabilities within Teams meetings.
Right. Okay. So you'd set up a Teams meeting in that scenario and, use your cameras, etc. Okay. So that's cool. When we look at that conversation being recorded, I know some of the questions that come up, recently is around GDPR. Now, is it a case of as long as a recording is played beforehand that said, hey, this recording will be recorded to provide the customer a better experience, blah, blah, blah. Is that kind of, you can configure it to do that little playback so the other party knows that they're being recorded?
Of course. So for telephony, we have a voice notification letting the customer know that they are recorded.
Excellent.
And then in Teams meetings, we also have a written notification and a voice notification. And each party that joins the call, they hear that the call is being recorded. But of course, you have to comply with your own company policy. Many companies require you to read your own statement and ask for permission to record and so on.
That's good. Okay, so we're now into the call and both parties are talking. And so if I get this right, what's happened is is it a live transcription is happening of that conversation? And so then if we consider that live transcription, is this where the AI starts to kick in? Because you mentioned, does your competitor name get used? Does product names get used? And I assume AI is doing both of those. What else is happening from an AI perspective? What else are you looking for? Is language another one? Like if they speak in another language and you're not sure what they said because, there's a lot of people that speak English as a second language and so they can drift off in a conversation into that. Is language another piece? What are the other algorithms that that you can share that are operating here?
Yeah, so maybe I will start from the first model. We have more than 10 models under the hood analyzing this interaction. Maybe I will start from the first one, which is speech recognition.
Yes.
So basically, this is the process of converting audio recordings of language to text. And Mark, it wasn't a long time ago when this type of technology was more or less science fiction, right? Most of the output from even commercial products were just gibberish, and you were editing the output of these engines. But what is happening in recent years, we are witnessing gigantic leaps in the AI domain that, among others, actually introduced commercial high-quality speech recognition systems. And just for the sake of scale, about 6 years ago, the Azure speech team at Microsoft has made a major breakthrough in speech recognition by creating a technology that recognizes the words in a conversation as good as a person does.
Yeah.
And to be more specific here, this technology achieved a 5.9% of error rates, which is about equal to that of a human expert who were asked to transcribe the same conversation. And I want to emphasize here that it's far from being perfect, because of the variety of factors that influence these systems, such as recording tools, acoustic environment, it's telephony and call centers. So there are a lot of noise around, but this technology is keeping improving. It keeps improving all the time. And once we recall that all of these challenges that the speech-to-text engines addresses, actually we need also to recall that same holds for humans who still understand meaning of full sentences, although they might misrecognize, specific words along the way. So since that milestone about 6 years ago that I mentioned, the Azure speech team has been improving this service, and now it supports more than 100 languages around the globe, which 15 or 14 languages actually we do support within conversation intelligence. So this is one. Now we have a lot of other models that analyzes the text, which is models from the natural language processing domain. And just for an example, the recently released executive summary feature is based on a technology from this domain. We basically leverage large language models, which are massive size artificial neural networks that can recognize, predict, and generate human language. So what we are witnessing today is a transformation from AI that detects, that perceives the surrounding, to an AI that reasons over this surrounding. And these models learn to generate language by feeding them with masked data, where we train the model to unmask these words. Okay, so basically they are given the sentence, we mask some words, and we ask them, okay, now try to unmask this. And doing this exercise for a large amount of iteration, the models are able to demonstrate remarkable language understanding abilities. And the executive summary is just one of them, where we take long conversation between an agent, a seller, and a prospect, and squeeze it. Okay, no matter how long is this conversation, we squeeze it onto a list of summary suggestions for the seller right after the call to start from this to summarize the call.
Yeah. This is incredible stuff. I've been over 20 years in IT, and I've had selling roles as well as tech roles in that time. And I have dyslexia, and I can't spell in a lot of situations. And what I find this tool does is it's a game changer for me because, for me, when I type, I see, the red squiggle underline on screen because I've spelt it wrong. Then I start correcting it, and then I'm losing track of the conversation that I'm having with people and stuff. And so I'm getting this constant brain switching from trying to type out the notes and capture the important information, not lose anything. And then I'm going to, but I need to concentrate on the person that I'm talking to. And so what I'm finding, like tools like this are a massive enabler in my productivity level because, at 50 years of age, I'm not going to go back and learn how to spell properly now. If I haven't learned it now, it's too late type thing. And it's not the best use of my time to focus on that area. But I know that a tool like this, and I know many other people will be in a similar situation to me, will be absolutely empowering to have that whole call summary to what are my actions that I need to take? I agreed that I was going to set an appointment in 2 weeks' time. I agreed that I was going to send them a copy of something or a link to something. I agreed that, I was going to put a contract together, whatever it was, to have that list of then activities. And I take it, correct me if I'm wrong, the activities are then native Dynamics activities like a task or like an appointment or like a phone call that I can then go, hey, let's put a due date on that and let's action it. So I can finish this call with a very clear, I agreed to do this, the customer agreed to do this, and I can activate those. Now, am I right in believing that the call recording that I could hit the play button and go back and just check the nuance of what was discussed, is that audio basically presenced inside my Dynamics record? Or do I, in the old days of call center systems and stuff, I'd have to go to the call center recording software. I'd have to give the exact timestamp of my call, and somebody in IT would come back with here's the recording file, and it could be 24 hours later. I didn't have that real-time access. Are you saying in this tool that the play button, everything is going to be right inside Dynamics? I can listen to that audio straight away.
It is.
Wow.
It is inside Dynamics. Everything is inside Dynamics. So you get a multi-channel recording for each of the participants with their sentiment on top of the playback, with any mentions on top of the playback. It provides you a really quick navigation experience within a call. And it's interesting what you said, because when we first introduced the call summary feature, the note suggestion, basically. So one of the sellers that we were demoing it to, he said, "Oh my God, this will free me from my desk." Because his way to concentrate is to pace around the room.
Yeah.
And he can't do that. He's there typing his notes, and it really frees him to pace around, to concentrate on the call, to concentrate on his customers, and to make better calls. So yeah.
I like this.
Yeah, maybe I would like also to elaborate maybe one comment here. We it's common to think about AI like an automation scenario, like automating the whole process, but we do realize that both in executive summary and other features in conversation intelligence, that the human should still be in the loop. So we'll do the heavy lifting of reading the whole transcript, summarize it, and serve it as suggestions that sellers can just build their own summary, because there is no one summary that fits all. And this is where AI is a decision-making supporter for the human and not replacing him by any way.
Yeah. So it's not creating a report that I couldn't edit. Basically, it's going, here's a suggestion, and then as the sales individual, I can then do the final anything I want to add or anything I want to exclude before I commit that to the system as such.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Fantastic. Because, sometimes people worry that now it's fully automated and I've got no control over it. But it's assistive. It's not providing it, verbatim as such. Hey, this is fantastic. Tell me, voice as a channel is a quite an integral part of this. And one of the questions I often hear, is voice available in all geos? In other words, everywhere Microsoft has a data center. And of course, I know this is a Teams dependent thing, but what's your understanding of that? Is it available in all data centers or Azure data centers now that you can get dynamics from that voice is now available at?
We are pushing it strongly to all the regions. It's available in most of the world. And we are actively pushing it. We have customers from all over the world. This is really, specifically the Teams voice, this is something that is largely adopted, and
is there
and people understanding the huge benefit of being able to engage with customers directly from your CRM.
Yeah, brilliant. There would be a doc article, right, that shows all the geos it's rolled to specifically.
Yes.
Okay, fantastic.
Absolutely.
We can get a copy of that. So this is, if I'm looking at switching this on in my system, what do I need to do? Like, do I need to go and do something in Azure? Do I need to do any connector installations? Is there a specific licensing SKU I need? If I want to get this full call reporting, voice as a channel, and conversational intelligence lit up in Dynamics 365 sales, what do I need to go and tell my admin department that they need to turn on and activate or get this switched on for me?
So until not so far ago, conversation intelligence was a premium feature, but in the last couple of months, it is now available under the enterprise license. So it's available for all enterprise users, along with 3 additional premium features that are now available for enterprise. So you can get conversation intelligence, you can get sequences for sales accelerator, lead and opportunity scoring, and of course the Teams dialer, all available for enterprise. What you need to do is to go and activate this within your Dynamics. And then specifically for Teams, you would need a Teams license and a calling plan.
Yes. Okay, so once again, is there a specific step-by-step on how to set this up? Is there a doc article on do this?
Absolutely.
Okay, we need to get a copy of that.
Absolutely.
Now, you mentioned something interesting there to me, which is the word sequences. And sequences is a game changer for sellers once again. Are you guys involved in that area of sequences, or is it another part of your team?
It's another part of our team. I absolutely recommend you to get in touch with Pooja Bala, who is the product lead for Sales Accelerator and Sequences. And yeah, that's an absolute game changer, and especially with the Teams dialer and then with conversation intelligence, it makes your experience so much better and really provide like end-to-end engagement process.
I love it. I'll definitely set up a podcast with her, as in she's on my list of people to talk to. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Before I let you go, is there any final things that you want to leave with the audience, whether it's hey, go learn more here, or consider this? Olga, I'll start with you. What's your final words?
Wow. So conversation intelligence, I believe, and I'm severely biased, but I believe that conversation intelligence is one of the most beautiful things that are going on and growing currently within Dynamics, specifically Dynamics for Sales. So yeah, go learn more about it. Now it's so easy to enable it within Dynamics. Just switch it on for Sales Enterprise. And yeah, it's a true game changer.
I love it. Abed?
Yeah, I would say that conversation intelligence is absolutely transforming the CRM from a system of record to an engagement system, reactive, proactive system. And all of these goodness that Olga and I have just described, both from the real-time and near real-time experiences, are automatically saved as part of the customer's journey with dynamic sales account records. And eventually, folks, it saves sellers the work and time needed for updating the CRM manual. So I'll leave you with the creative work to be done.
Awesome. Thank you so much, both of you, for coming on the show. I found it very interesting, and I hope the audience did as well. And hope to maybe meet you one day, maybe in Seattle if we're there at the same time, or when this will get back to order in some way. Thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Mark.
Hey, thanks for listening. I'm your host, Business Application MVP Mark Smith, otherwise known as the NZ365 Guy. If there's a guest you'd like to see on the show from Microsoft, please message me on LinkedIn. If you want to be a supporter of the show, please check out buymeacoffee.com/NZ365 Guy. How will you create on the Power Platform today? Ciao.